Let's talk about the ending to Francis Lawrence's adaptation of Stephen King's The Long Walk. My name is Julia Marchesi. I am a lifelong constant reader who has read everything Stephen King has written, and The Long Walk's in my top 5. I'm also on the Losers Club podcast talking about Stephen King, and I even adapted Stephen King myself through his Dollar Baby program with I Know What You Need, shot at the University of Maine in the location where Stephen King might have written The Long Walk. So let's go. As a constant reader, when you go in to see a Stephen King adaptation, you are always prepped for the ending to be different, because almost always it is. And rarely does a changed ending improve, I will say. There are a few that springs to mind, of course, but this is something that you're always prepped for. Spoilers for both the book ending and the movie ending, yeah. Now, I do have a whole other video that talks all about the book's ending in detail, but in short, Stebbins and Garrity are the last two to walk. Stebbins has a real reason for winning. His father is the Major, and he knows that by asking to be taken to his father's house, his Major will be exposed, and Stebbins will be able to create some real change in the dystopian future that they're living in. Garrity, on the other hand, doesn't really have a reason, and he kind of just has to survive, and this is the reason he goes forward. I knew there was going to be a problem in the movie when Stebbins' character and Scram's character were combined, because they are two characters in the book that couldn't be more further apart. And I think part of the reason that Stebbins is such an incredible character is because he has this confidence that throws everybody off for the whole time, because he knows he's going to win. And they often actually talk about it very far into the walk, how much he looks fine, that everybody else is dying around him and he looks like he hasn't changed at all, just because he has this hard vengeance that he needs to win. So when you combine him with Scram, you make him this flesh and blood character, and then take him out. It kind of takes away the strength of his character arc, which I was a little bit sad about. But I would like to point out that Stebbins' strategy is a non-violent way to create change in the society. Now, Pete does just sit down in the book like he says he's going to when he's ready to die, but here we have him and Garrity slugging along at the last, shoulder to shoulder. Pete tries to sacrifice himself for Garrity. Garrity says no, then Garrity sacrifices for Pete, and one of the last things he yells at him is, "I love you." So in the story, it is pretty explicit that Pete and Raymond have a bisexual romance going on, as well as a friendship. And this is the most they kind of hint at, I think, in the movie,